Good morning. It's 6:11 from the dining room at Shores Hiker Hostel. We're 2 hours early for breakfast. Well, breakfast is 8. You know we wake up about 4:30, so we're having a cup of coffee and just hanging out and getting ready for what is going to be probably our biggest week on trail. We've got a plan, got a lot of logistics, and we just need to execute. So this is the caution we get before we enter the 100-mile wilderness. You have a minimum of 10 days supply. This is the longest wilderness section. Its difficulty should not be underestimated. Okay. And we're on trail. We have started the 100-mile wilderness. It's a glorious day and I'm excited. But to be honest, a little bit anxious. Our first water crossing of the day. We've been going hard out all morning. So it's time to cross our first river and I'm going to follow Charge over. Okay, this one's a bit more interesting. We'll see what the crew in front of us are up to. Okay, bar fight's not very heavy and that's moving her a bit, so I need to bear that in mind. She's not much heavier than me. Well, I'm not much heavier than her, I should say, so we just need to be real careful. So there went the first day of the 100-mile wilderness. We had 100 miles that we felt we needed to cover in 4 days. We'd got a late start to day one, given that we weren't dropped off until about 8:30. So there was a sense that we needed to keep moving. There were a lot of water crossings, so we started the day pretty quickly with wet feet, and in fact our feet were wet pretty much for 4 days. The socks never dried out, the shoes never dried out, but the water crossings weren't too bad. In day one there was a couple that were a bit uncomfortable, but they weren't too bad. There was a lot of different terrain. We had some flat paths, we had some steep mountains, surprisingly, to get up. We had rocks, we had all sorts of different terrain. It was exciting to see the 100 miles to go sign that someone had made out of sticks, just to give us a sense that we were making progress. But it was a long, slow day, and we were pretty tired, and as it was approaching quite late in the day, so we climbed up Barren Mountain, and we hadn't quite got to 20 miles yet, but there was a sense that we were tired. We needed to find a campground before it got dark, and we needed to pitch our tent and get ourselves situated. So, having climbed Barren Mountain and puffed our way up it, we started to look at our Far Out app and work out where the next campground was, and also to calculate how the next few days would have to go. It's a fire tower at the top of Battle Mountain. Quite the climb. We've been climbing for ages and ages and ages. But it's a really beautiful evening. think Charge is going to take a photo. I felt that. Barren Mountain. I felt that. Really happy to see the lean-to sign, but it's half a kilometre off trail. Oh well, it's kind of rocky and gnarly up here, so I suppose they put it where they can. Going to sleep in the shelter. Yeah. Actually, there's a whole bunch of kids camping down by the pond, and they can hang out, have lots of fun and make all their noise, and we'll just stay up here. 5:02 a.m. I'm just talking to the camera, Charge. Hi, camera. 5:02 a.m. and we're on trail, and we're straight into the bogs of Battle Mountain. Big day today. Got up at 4:20. I want to make up some of the hours that we didn't get to do yesterday because of our late start. 19 and a bit miles yesterday. We've got more on us. No fatalities, plane crash. Good morning, Maine. The view's beautiful, but they do start to look a lot like each other after a while. It's a gorgeous day. Day 2 in the 100-mile wilderness, and we're just trucking along trying to do big miles today because we need to get cranking. Funny night in the shelter last night. We'd got there about 6:30. Hadn't done the miles we really wanted to do. We'd done 19 miles, but we started late. And get to this beautiful campsite beside a pond, and it's just full of kids. Noisy kids with a fire. And all the campsites really were taken. So we went up to the shelter, and luckily there was just one guy in there called Barefoot. Nice guy. But a lot of bugs. Anyway, we put our sleeping bags into the shelter and decided to stay there, which is okay. And then some funny old guy turned up who's going sobo, which is what we call southbound, the opposite direction to us. So he's just started, but he was more hobo than sobo. Kind of smelly, probably lonely, and talked a lot. Well, we all turned in kind of early because that's what you do. And then those two other guys proceeded to snore. They snored, and the mosquitoes buzzed in our ears. So when Charge got up at 4:20, I just packed up. We were moving by, 4:40, 4:45, and made our way back onto the trail because the shelter was a wee way away from the trail. We were hiking before 5. So, look, we're moving. And today we've started really early and we can get some good miles done.
Okay,
You will.
we use the same email address regarding our order
What order?
for tomorrow.
Oh, there's no.
Cool. Thank you.
We're just super lucky to have been fed by trailer angel Jerry. Jerry is supporting his wife, who's walking the AT. Her name's Bar Fight, and we just happen to be on the same timeline as Bar Fight. So he's set up with his amazing caravan, and he made coconut rice burritos with beans. I've had some crackers with peanut butter. I mean, basically, I just ate a whole bunch of food and had a Moxie, which is a local Maine soft drink. Charge and I were both flaking a bit. I keep on tripping over roots. Didn't really eat dinner last night. A bit tired. I hadn't eaten a lot today. Gets to be a chore. And after that warm food, 2 burritos, 2 cookies, and some sort of snacks with peanut butter on them, and a Moxie drink. Ooh, I feel great. We've done 11 miles this morning on day 2 in the 100-mile wilderness. They were hard miles, up and down and up and down, and we've just an enormous down. 2 interesting things are about to happen. One, in about 0.8, we're going to go through a forest of trees that were planted, and the idea was they were going to be masts on ships. And were going to be harvested maybe 100 years ago for sailing ships, but they never were. So that's going to be interesting. The second thing, which isn't quite so interesting, is that we have a monster hill to go up. It's been a day of ups and downs, so this is the really big one. I think from the top we might get a really good view of Katahdin, which is the mountain that we're essentially, I don't know, about 95 miles away from. Yeah, just got to keep walking. After a savage morning on a really hardcore trail, 11 very hard miles, we are now over the side of the river, and talked to a local Appalachian Trail volunteer who said that this side is beautiful. It's a lovely trail up the side of the mountain. There's an amazing view of Katahdin, and I'm feeling a whole bunch more positive than I was this morning. I was just saying to Charge, and he agreed, that we were kind of hating it this morning. It was hard. It was hard. And there finally, for us to see in, I wouldn't say black and white, but let's say orange and white, 83.9 miles to Katahdin, Baxter Peak. Yes. I'm pretty sure these are the trees that were planted to make ship masts. Look how tall and straight they are. That's amazing. I'm glad Poet, our host at Shaw's pointed these out. Otherwise you just walk past them and wouldn't realise their purpose, which was to be old sailing ship masts. Wow. Today's been a big day. We've been at it so far for 13 hours. We've done 23 miles and aren't quite finished yet. But what's incredibly exciting is the mountain that we've just climbed, Whitecap. There were a series of 3 of them. Is the last mountain between us and Mt Katahdin. Mt Katahdin is out there. Ooh, and I can see it. So that there is Katahdin, and the Appalachian Trail goes up the middle of it. We've got an interesting angle apparently, according to the chatty trail runner. We're going to go up the Hunt Trail and come down the A-bowl, whatever that means. But what's extremely exciting is how flat it is between here and there. Whew. It's 5:11 on day 3 in the 100-mile wilderness. We woke up about 4, decided to hang out till 4:30 because it was lighter. Packed up and hit the road. We camped with a bunch of through hikers last night who are all kind of our age. So Barfight, Tigger and Huge were camped around us, so we had to kind of be quiet. It's been a huge first 2 days in the 100-mile wilderness. We've done 19 miles. Yesterday we did 24 and a half very mountainous miles. Yesterday was a really big day. We have a food drop this morning because we're almost out of food. We didn't want to carry a whole 5 or 6 days worth of food over the mountains that we've just climbed. So we have a food drop at 1 and very little food left in our food bags, which is good because it's nice and light, but we do need some more. We've got another 25 miles today and 25 to 30 miles tomorrow to get us to where we need to get to climb the mountain. So it's kind of like a 4 marathons in 4 days. We're tired. The body's a bit tired and achy, but we're so close to being there. We can see Mt Katahdin, well, not right now, but there's nothing between us and Mt Katahdin except for 55 miles of the 100-mile wilderness and then 15 miles to the top. So we're getting closer.
Two nights and 3 days of food. 2 nights. Right? 40 tonight and tomorrow.
It's 40. 40. It's 40 to the next road. We're going to do another.
Jerry's here with his amazing setup, feeding us all, and we're very grateful. You can always find him with this little caravan. And lots and lots and lots of hospitality, feeding all us hungry hikers. Just heading back on trail after I've basically eaten my body weight in corn chips and salsa. So Trail Angel Jerry, oh, let's have a look at this. This is really pretty. Trail Angel Jerry is supporting his wife Barfight, and so we've just lucked out in so much as we've fallen in with a posse of people, through hikers, Barfight included, and our timeline is the same as theirs. So when we turn up to a significant road, there's Trail Angel Jerry, and yesterday he fed me tortillas filled with rice and beans and crackers and a soft drink. And when you've done 15 miles before midday, and I'm not sure how, it's over half a marathon over mountains with a backpack on your back, you're starving, and just have the opportunity to sit down, have a cold soft drink and something like corn chips and salsa. It really helps. We've so 15 miles in, we're looking at potentially doing another 15, so it may be a 30-mile day. We've got plenty of time to do it. It's just after midday. The conditions are beautiful, and the trail has flattened out. It's like a flat pathway with a few boulders and roots, but we do have a little bit of a hill. well, a mini mountain in about 6 miles, but the terrain has changed a lot and we are speeding up towards Mt Katahdin, day 3 in the 100-mile wilderness. And there that is. That's Katahdin across the lake. The perfect day to climb. It may not be the perfect day to climb the day that we climb, but this beautiful lake. 4:30 and it's another really long day. Just coming up for 25 miles, which is a long way. The trail has improved a lot, but we still have moments of roots and rocks, but it's pretty flat. We've had one small hill today. We're just looking for a campsite near a water source where we can pitch our tent and maybe chill out for a couple of hours before we pass out, before we wake up and do it all again. Catching sight of Mt Katahdin across that lake on a beautiful day like today makes me realise what a big mountain we've got to climb in a couple of days' time. I'm excited to get up that mountain, but I'm equally excited to get back down that mountain and, I don't know, sit down for a couple of days. After a 28-mile day, that's the sign that we don't need to see. Very long day, very tired. I hope it's not full of clean, fresh-faced southbounders in all the campgrounds, sites that we had last night, looking all clean and fresh as we stagger in, looking pretty filthy and tired. Hey Charge, you've carried that can for how long? About since 11 o'clock this morning?
Yes, about 17 miles, isn't it? No, 14 miles.
It's not cold, but it tastes...
I don't care.
Is that the best tasting beer you've had for a while? Oh yeah. 5:37 and we're on trail, day 3 of the 100-mile wilderness. We've done a lot of miles in the last few days. This sounds like something like 19.8 miles, 24.5 miles, 28 miles.
Morning, Flash.
Good morning, Charge. It's a good morning. We get to do this, we don't have to. So we're almost done 75 miles in the last 3 days. So maybe this is the 4th day in the 100-mile wilderness. It must be. We are about 45 miles from the top of Mt Katahdin. Maybe 40. So we're 27 miles from kind of where we want to land tonight. I'm not sure if we'll go all the way. We'll just get up early in the morning and march in. So we're up for another big day. But a really nice camp last night. A good sleep. We made sure we ate lots of dinner. And we actually made sure we ate breakfast. So just got to keep hiking. This hurts. We're near the end. And I'm looking forward to going up that mountain. But by crikey, I'm looking forward to coming down it as well. Ja, den mal noch. And literally 30 seconds later, we're walking up that. Roots and rocks. They're not my favourite, but I quite like the main staircases they make out of rocks. Going up, but not going down. Whew. A surprisingly gnarly mountain for being such a low height. Been puffing up you for the last wee while. But Charge and I, we're going to take our packs off, have a drink and a rest. Just marching along the trail. We're come up for 16.5 miles. Got maybe 13 left to go. And Charge just got attacked by a grouse. Bloody feathered fiend flew at him out of the tree and then had another go. Anyway, he defended himself with his hiking poles and we hike on. So close to the peak. Okay. We haven't got too far to go. We want to get ourselves a packet of chips and some cold beers at the shop, which is, 5.2 miles away? Slightly more than that. It's amazing what the determination to get a cold beer and a packet of chips does. 28 miles today, and at the end of the 100-mile wilderness. We're amazing. There she is. That's what we're climbing tomorrow, hopefully. Wow, she's a beast. She is indeed. Less than half a mile left of the 100-mile wilderness. We have smashed it out in 4 days, with the last 3 days being probably each our biggest day on the trail ever. We've effectively done 3 marathons in a row, up and down hills with backpacks on our back. Charge has been masterful pulling me through the woods today. We've been going for nearly 12.5 hours and have just kicked over 28 miles today. Do the math, that's something like 40-something kilometres. And we've done it, we hope, in time enough to get to the store to buy some potato chips and salsa and some beer because we're pretty tired, we're pretty hungry, but it's been an amazing effort. Is that it, honey? Have we finished the 100-mile wilderness?
4 days.
4 enormous days. Oh my goodness me. Right. Let's get to that store and get our prize. Something crunchy and salty and something that's not out of my food bag. And after 4 days in the wilderness, hiking hard out, we arrive on Golden Road and find our way to Abol Bridge. And across Abol Bridge, oh, that's up there. What a beautiful evening it is. Abol Bridge. I'm pretty sure we get to see Katahdin from here. It's Jerry. Do a cooey. Mt Katahdin. There she is. And we're climbing her tomorrow. So we hadn't worked out where we were going to stay. We were just so obsessed with buying food. And Jerry, the trail angel, has booked 2 campsites down by the river and says that we can camp there with him and the rest of his crew. So, it just keeps on getting better. But firstly, there's the store. And you know what that means? It means food. Jerry's going fishing. Charge is pitching the tent.
There's that homeless lady walking around the campground again.
I know, right? A smelly homeless lady.